MP3. Well, in order to understand MP3, we're going to have to go back a little bit in time to 1988, when the International Standards Organization and the International Electronics Committee appointed a group of scientists to come up with standards for video and audio compression and transmission. The name of this group was the Moving Picture Experts Group. And so if you take the first letter of each of those, Moving Picture Experts Group, we have MPEG. In 5 years, in 1993, they came up with a format, MPEG-1. And MPEG-1 was the standards that they came up with in 1993. A year later, they came up with a few additional standards for MPEG-2, but what we're concerned with is MPEG-1, and MPEG-1 had 5 layers in this standard, and the third layer of this standard was for the audio, and that's why it's called MPEG, MP3. So it's the third layer of MPEG-1, and it's also the third layer of MPEG-2. So it's still MP3. In 1995, they adopted the official extension of .mp3. And that same year, in 1995, there was the first software version of MP3 players, encoders, decoders that hit the internet. This was quite the rage. There was WinPeg came up in the year following that, 1996, and then by 1997 there was such a rage about this MP3 that a new .com came on the scene called MP3.com, and what it did was offer independent artists the ability to put their music on the internet and sell their music via this MP3 format. And so this MP3 provided the vehicle for these independent artists to promote their music. Now, this compression scheme of smaller music files, it happens like this. If you see the waveform like this, it's the incoming audio. It's a three-dimensional audio graph, and you can see that there are lines which divide the frequency spectrum into bands, and this band is contoured in such a way as to form a psychoacoustic model that when audio goes through the band, it allows it to be encoded to MP3, and anything below this psychoacoustic model is discarded. Consequently, only 10% of the music of an uncompressed song is actually put into MP3 encoded format. So that means 90% is lost and 10% is the file. So the files are actually 1/10 the size of the actual audio coming from a CD. Now, in this next graphic, we see that the red graph line here is the incoming audio. And the next line below and cutting through the red line is the psychoacoustic model. And the bottom graph on the bottom is the only portion of the red portion that is actually put into an MP3 file. So 90% is lost, 10% is taken, and that's what you're hearing when you listen to an MP3. And they use these psychoacoustic models in that we can't hear all frequencies, and certain frequencies are louder and mask other frequencies, and and things like that. We'll get into that a little bit later, but right now that's an overview of the MP3, and we'll get into some charts and graphs to further develop and show you how MP3 is encoded and a little more in detail. So stay tuned.